This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free-form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
We're live. Don't at me. What is it? Saturday night. Recording this on a Saturday night. How are y'all feeling today? Got Jock and Gerry in today. Chance MIA.
Yeah, what up, people? You know, it's your boy once again, ALC.
Your boy once again. Chance MIA. It's the first time on the podcast, but I highly doubt it'll be the last time. Literally don't know where he's at. Got Jock and Gerry in the house. Gerry, how you doing today?
Man, I'm feeling good.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I was want to say, man, like,
boys.
shout out to these mics, bro. This shit is super official.
It's cool,
You know what
right?
I
We
mean?
each
Like,
have our
this
own
is-
mouthpiece now.
Yeah, man, shit's cool, man. Like, humble beginnings. But, like, now, like, shit's, like, really, you know, moving forward.
Well, we started with the mobile stew, you know, and we'd go post up at Spots Park. We would record there with the snowball microphone.
With all the cars getting broken into.
Y'all's almost got busted into.
At first you were kind of joking about it, like, oh, hey, y'all might want to move y'all's cars, or I think Jock even said that when I parked.
I did.
You're like, bro,
Right.
hey, move your shit. I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't think too much about it. 'Cause I think I would park like a block down.
Right.
So I ended up linking up with Jock. He's like, hey, move over here towards me. What's crazy is even those spots were still about 3 or 4 blocks, or no, a few spots away from you. To the point where I think your car was facing the opposite direction. And 2 dudes were so bold to where, like, they dead ass, after we parked, had the nerve to, like, literally make full rotations around both of me and Jock's cars.
They said they were trying to appraise your trade, though.
Yeah, they're asking me for actually auto insurance. Like, hey, man, you can make your insurance a little cheaper.
They were like,
They were trying to break in.
they were like, hey, do you have Comcast for your internet? Don't y'all hate that?
Yeah, I do.
God,
Walmart.
man. You know what I say now? I just fuck with them. I say, oh no, I'm in a one of those minimalist colonies. I don't have any internet.
I have consolidated.
And they just get kind of confused. They don't really ask me any questions.
Or you
Like,
can
well,
say
all right, have a nice day.
You can say you're Mormon. Could work.
Mormon.
You got to wear, like, the clothes and everything.
I find that offensive. Nowadays, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I get it. I'd probably win some kind of lawsuit.
Yeah.
We got the Rockets-Lakers game playing in the background. It's the first time we've spoken since last week. Last week being the Chiefs-Texans game.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. That was crazy.
The reason I bring that up,
Uh-huh.
when the game... Look, I know this isn't breaking news because it's been a week now, but I've even thought about it more. Pivotal moment. Texans are up 21-0.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4th down. They kick the field goal. They go up 24-0.
On the 13.
I would have gone for it there.
Yeah. What's crazy is I don't know what Bill O'Brien was thinking when, like you said, it's a pivotal moment. You're up 21-0. I mean, at that point, I guess they're thinking take the points, playing a little more conservative right there. But why would you play conservative at that point if the next drive after a KC score, you're going to decide to go for it on your 30? I think 4th and 3.
Something like that.
Didn't make any sense.
Well, so I was listening to, what's it called? The GM Shuffle, Michael Lombardi podcast. And he was saying his take on it, it looked like O'Brien thought they had a first down. So he was trotting the offense out there for a first down play when all of a sudden he realized it was 4th down. And he says, oh, shit, calls timeout. And he kicked the field goal. Didn't even think about it. He was determined to score on every possession that he could, taking the points.
Which,
Me,
honestly... Yep.
I would have gone for it. You know, I know that's like a lot of fans. Oh, go for it. You know, and he was even saying like, look, that they never even thought about going for it from his estimation. Mm-hmm. But to me, there's just something mentally different from a 24-point deficit versus a 28-point deficit.
Yeah,
I've seen so many
Facts.
teams come back from 24 down. I don't really recall many coming back from 28 down. I mean, yeah, you have Bills and Oilers, whatever. But there's just something mentally. I think if you're 4 touchdowns down, your asshole clinches a little bit tighter.
It's a little more
24-0 because that's technically 3 possessions. Worst case scenario, that's 3 touchdowns.
I think it's more of like a dagger shot in the NBA. It's kind of ices the game early.
Yeah. And also, you have Mahomes and, you know, I'll be honest, man. He's one of the greatest younger quarterbacks that's coming around now. As far as like arm strength, his intelligence, everything. Like he's a pretty good dude. So like, if anybody can come back, he will be the one to bring them back. So I had a feeling. I was like, they're up 24-0, but like something felt funny, and
it was fast. A couple of reasons I would have gone for it. One, if you fail, they're on the 13. Yeah, they get a momentum flip there, but you don't put the ball in a dangerous return man's hands. Hardman set up the comeback.
True.
That return,
that's like a 54-yard return.
It was, and then they score like 2 plays later.
Yep.
That was quick,
Mm-hmm.
Then the next possession, like you said, the fourth down, where they didn't go for it, or where they did go for it.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the philosophy change was just kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The big problem that he had there, according to Lombardi, was more of a personnel issue. It was more of, okay, had you had somebody else out there that could have broken one tackle, that play is huge. I thought he was gone. When he hiked the ball, I was like, shit.
He did look wide open. It was nothing but green grass.
And that dude closed in on him. I didn't see I wasn't paying attention to it much, but apparently he was running a lot before. So he kind of gave it. He kind of had his tell. Like he kind of gave it away, and that's how that Sorensen was able to find him. But then next thing you know, they're down on their 30, about to go in and punch it 24-14. Once they scored, then it was over in my head. I was like, yeah, they're gonna find a way to come back. Sure enough, guy fumbles the next play, and
how does that happen? Like when they popped. Oh boy! And the ball just like magically.
I just had a feeling like when it flew up and the Chiefs guy got it. I wasn't even surprised. I was just like, "Oh, of course."
Here we go.
Of course.
Like if it would happen, it would happen to the Texans. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, which is like it's bad, but like for one moment I thought like, okay, damn, Texans are about to do this shit. Like, they were scoring fast and shit like that, but then something hit me like, you know what? The Chiefs are not going to stay down for long. They're going to turn this shit around. So you should try to score as many points as you can. So, yeah, I feel like Brian should have definitely been more aggressive with his play calling. He tried to be a little conservative on the that one aspect. I'm like, come on, bro. You're playing the Chiefs.
And there's just no identity.
You're already underdogs at that, So
Texans, to me, just don't have an identity. There's tons of talent, but it's, it's like just put the ball more. I feel like they don't. The play calling's awful. I mean, you could always say, let's fire O'Brien, get somebody else.
Isn't O'Brien isn't he the GM too, though?
He's set. He's a made man right now.
He's not leaving.
Yeah. But my thing is, like, okay, he's fine. People always point to, they won the division, 4 out of 5 years? So give him credit for that. Sure. But like Ron Rivera in Carolina, I feel like you can have a pretty good coach that just still isn't going to give you enough to get you over the hump. And that's what I feel like with O'Brien. I feel like his biggest problem is understanding the ebbs and flows of the game, managing the game, knowing what you have in front of you. I feel like he's not a great decision maker. And to me, that shows in the most pivotal of moments. Even against Andy Reid, who people are critical of.
Andy Reid, he's notorious for choking in the playoffs,
Yeah.
And so this time, I was kind of torn, right? Because Andy Reid's been in the game for a while. We all know him with the Eagles, how he had his, run, Don McNabb and Michael Vick, may have it. And so to see him actually, like, okay, like he may legitimately have like a chance to go further than what we ever seen, like that's pretty dope. This for me being this old school like NFL fan,
Right.
Yeah. I mean Donovan McNabb, CO Eagles. They made the Super Bowl. They got spanked by the Patriots, but still win.
But the Patriots are no more now, as of right now.
Well, they'll bounce back. I mean, I just can't see Brady going anywhere else. I mean, I think right now he's trying to hold their feet to the fire, give me some weapons. There's really not many alternatives out there that I think are as good or better than the Pats. I mean, you could argue maybe the Titans, but I think they'll keep Tannehill. That's not to suggest that he's better than Brady, but if you have somebody that fits the bill, they fit the bill.
He's definitely he played for his contract.
He earned it. He earned it. The Colts are another one that I would say, that'd be interesting, but I can't see him going to Manning's old house.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He's not going to do that. And speaking on the Patriots, just to kind of like a side note, you guys should check out the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
I haven't seen it yet.
I heard
you
about
watched
it.
it?
I watched it. That shit is fucking crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people at work were talking about it.
He was fucking.
Oh, boy pussy.
All pussy, like both. It's like damn.
So
But
they show that
pussy.
in there.
I mean, I'm not gonna say too much. You know what I mean? For the viewers out there and listeners, like you just need to watch it, and it'll give you like a different like perspective on things. I still don't feel bad for him at all for what he did if he did do that shit, but he had a fucked up like upbringing. Not.
I heard it was his dad.
He wasn't brought from the hood. He stayed like in a good area. First of all,
Suburbs of Florida.
Suburban, yeah, good area. It just the people that are around him. That's what fucked him up.
That's usually what it is, and I mean, I get it. Like you said, I don't at all condone it, but I mean, I get. Look, you know, I don't know his story, but I can easily see. You know, you can be in a suburb situation where you might get picked on or bullied or something like that, and you're trying to find anybody to posse up with.
Well, here's the thing: he didn't change until he went to Florida. That's when he started fucking changing. He started hanging around different people there. Like when his dad, when he was at home, like he was good, but it's like he didn't have enough positive support like around him.
Right.
So he wasn't making like. He was making irrational decisions with stuff, and nobody was like stopping him. Like, "Hey, boy, you need to chill with this," or whatever, you know. So that's a lot that played a part in it.
That whole story is nuts, and it's crazy to believe that it was 7 years ago.
He was
now?
only 22 or 23, bro.
It's insane, and I mean,
can you imagine being that young, getting paid that much money?
he was set, and I mean,
Yeah,
I think he just signed.
Matter of fact, he just
contract.
signed. Yeah, he just signed like a max deal with the Patriots.
It was
that
like a
year,
5-year,
year before.
something ridiculous, and I mean, it's like.
Imagine
you have all of that future in front of you.
If you think about it, if that Aaron Hernandez situation didn't occur, would there ever be the Gronk legacy that it is today? If you think about it,
I don't know. It would have been split.
It would have
nice.
minimized it.
I mean, it would have cut it in half. You know,
half touchdowns.
Now,
half of his
I will
receptions.
say they were used differently. You know, the way that they used Gronk at the end is how they used him in the beginning. With Hernandez, they started getting kind of creative with him. They started treating him more like a weapon. And this sounds kind of silly, but I feel like they would
like a
almost,
Taysom Hill.
I was just gonna say, like a Taysom Hill, where you know he might get a handoff, he might be in the backfield as a running back, but he's actually going out for like a wheel route.
Receiver.
They started doing some of that, and I mean he was much more of like a receiving tight end, but it's crazy to think. I mean,
he was like a hybrid for sure
in the Super Bowl, against the Giants, Super Bowl in 2011.
Can you imagine the time that he scored in a Super Bowl? I think he wasn't even legal yet to drink. I think he was like 20 or something like that. That shit blows my mind.
Like that, right?
It blows my mind, like the amount of talent he had. Yeah, of course. He was a fucked up individual because stuff that played out in his life. But football fucked him up too. When you get hit that many times in the head, CT is fucking real. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's an excuse, but that shit it's really
You know what I feel like with the whole CTE thing though, the thing that I feel like is the most underrepresented, people never want to talk about like opioid abuse. Like they'll talk about all these hits to the head, and hits to the head are awful. I mean you get CTE from that, but
if you think about how these players are coping with these injuries,
think about
while
Gary. They play, they're in the back at halftime getting shot
ups,
whatever,
and
then they're
back out there
taking pain pills. I mean, shit. Look at Favre; he got kind of hooked on them for a while.
He did,
and people that get addicted to opioids. I mean, I'm no science expert or whatever, but people have withdrawals. They'll have those bad thoughts, those reckless thoughts. Yeah, so I think like a lot of the suicides I feel like might be more attributable to that versus CTE. I'm not saying that CTE doesn't cause problems, but I feel like people completely ignore the opioid side of it.
No, so, you're right. You're definitely right.
And with that being said, would you say that Ricky Williams was actually ahead of his time? If you think about it, he was the biggest proponent for medical marijuana.
You know what? Yes. I remember watching.
And he was treated like he was
a pariah. Like he was like, this
dealer.
Guy's a thug.
Yeah,
a druggie, and he wasn't at all.
There's ignorance.
He was a smart man.
Well, I remember watching the was it 30 for 30 or some E60? One of those they did on him and his whole life, and his desire for medicinal marijuana and just fighting for what he believed in. And at the time he retires and people are like, oh, what an idiot, how do you leave all of this behind
for weed
but it's more fighting for a lifestyle, fighting for what you believe in, fighting for his not even religion but just kind of his own zen,
his own culture, his own, like you said, like what he feels that's right in his heart, you know. And
His
at the end of the day,
values.
you're living for you. NFL is not forever. It's one wrong hit,
Right.
one wrong something, and you're fucking done. So honestly, I recommend people that retire early, like Marshawn, the guy from
Kuechly.
as
Well,
well.
yeah, isn't that kind of crazy?
Calvin
That was
Johnson,
crazy.
Barry
Calvin
Sanders. Barry Sanders was the first.
And there was a guy from
Crazy.
the 49ers. Forgot his name. He retired
Patrick
early.
Willis, Chris
Yeah.
Borland.
Yeah, Chris Borland. Yeah.
Both of them. I mean, that was. It's crazy, the early retirees.
I
just
commend them.
based on all the, like you said, like the concerns for their health.
Mhm.
They want to have their head when they're older. You know, I
But-
get all that.
Because they know that at the end of the day, they're just an expense. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
NFL is a business. So if something were to happen to them, you think the owners really care? Like, they care somewhat, but not really, because they're expendable. They just get somebody
Right.
else from college or whatever, and bam, replace you.
And I mean, as
That's how it is.
pragmatic and just flat out cutthroat as it is, any business kind of sees it that way. You know, somebody quits, hey, we can't hold their feet to the fire. We can't keep them here. We can't bind them here. You know, so if they want to go somewhere else, they go somewhere else. So in a way, you almost do treat it as an asset. You know, well, we need somebody to fill this role. We need to, you know, come in and bring in candidates for who can be our next receiver or running back or who or whatever. So I mean, the second one is kind of no longer ready or can't get the job done anymore. They cut them loose. It kind of does mimic a corporate environment to a sense where, hey, you're not getting the job done. As cutthroat as it is, this is a job at the end of the day, and you're really not fulfilling your duties.
That's why I respect Le'Veon Bell. I respect everybody that's really trying to get the bag. And like, you know what? I'm going to get the most money I can. I'm going to squeeze as much as I can out of y'all. Because I know
Right.
y'all don't really give a fuck about me when it comes down to it. Like you said, like living in America, every company, no matter what profession it is, it's all going to be the same in their realm. Like, it's a business. The wheel's
Yeah.
going to keep spinning regardless. Whenever you do, because you live in America, you know, it's very capitalistic out here, of course, you know. So that's just how it is.
I think I'm fine with him on that corner, that stance. But he made the mistake because he lost money he's never going to get again. You know, I mean, he ended up getting.
But he's tried to stand for something that was right,
Right,
though, you know.
right.
So, yeah. But I hear you.
What was it? David Irvin? Was that the Cowboys guy that retired before the season started?
I'm actually not too sure. We got to look that up. Maybe, you know, some of
I
you
think
viewers
it
can
was-
look that up for us.
I think it was this time last year, where David Irvin retired because he got hit for a
that's
test.
right.
He said,
That
"I'm just
was
going to
last
smoke."
Yeah,
I mean,
that was before. I think that was right before last season.
I think it
And
was.
you know what? Honestly, we don't know what these guys are doing with their money as well. So they really could
Right.
be investing in other shit, so that's why they're good. Like, you know what? I already made my investments in several things. I have money saved up. Like, I'm straight. I don't need football.
Right.
When you get to that point where you like, I don't need this shit, that's when you're like truly living. You know what I mean? Where you don't have to like work necessarily. You know?
Right.
So I commend that. You know, I'm trying to get to that level right now.
Well, and the crazy part though is these guys nowadays, you know, well, always. I mean, it's like that 30 for 30 documentary for Broke. You know, these guys are 18. They never had money, or you know, you're 18. Think about it. Think of the value of like $400.
When you're 18, bro,
18?
you're gonna spend money. Bro, if I was 18, I was spending money on so much dumb shit and jewelry, and it's
Yeah.
like, because like your mindset is different. You know, we don't mature as fast as women. We're
Right.
still childish. It's niggas that's 30 and above who's still childish as fuck. You know, so
I mean,
that's how
think about
is.
it. Like when I was 18, if I had $400, I was rich. It's like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with 400 bucks.
Especially as a college student, like I would make $50 stretch.
Dude, I wrote for the school paper at Sam Houston, and I think I got $25 per issue. We did 2 issues a week, so that's about 8 a month.
Yeah.
So what is that, like, what, $400? Not even. And $200, right? And that was enough. That was all I needed. I was like, man, I can get groceries with that. So think about if you just get millions. All of a sudden, imagine if you're 18, you have $1 million a year. They're getting double digits, 10 million. And then you're just like, what do I do with this money? And they just spend it.
Yeah,
But now I
it's
think
a lot to
there's
deal
so
with.
much more exposure. There's so much more understanding of all that people are just like, well, we're wiser now. You watch people like LeBron and how they come in and they create more of a brand. Not just like I'm here as a player. It's more of, hey, I'm building a brand. So that's kind of, I feel like, the new wave thing, you know?
Yeah, I think they were. TNT was interviewing Shaq and a couple other players and talking about how, like, if they had social media back then, like how they would have been able to make so much more money by developing an actual brand. Like, you said, LeBron with that brand name.
Imagine Jordan with Twitter. Like, just
Jordan would
being
have
so petty.
He would have been in so much like shit. I feel exactly because that nigga was very competitive.
Yeah,
that Negro, excuse me, was very competitive. You know, so
he was so petty.
That would have been fun though, just to seeing like, bro, the dream team having like a Twitter and social media. Oh my gosh, that would have been fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, think about how many players then would be self-destructive the way that Kevin Durant is now. I mean, the way he plays, burner accounts. Look, nobody's ever questioned dude's game, but he's emotional as hell. He does weird shit, like you said, creating burner accounts, things like that. Like, who else would destroy their career that way? You know, the way that he not even that he destroyed his career, but you know his reputation. People think he's just a whiner, complainer. You know, soft, whatever, because he has burner accounts. Think about, you know, back in the 90s. Who would be like that, you know?
Bro, I would have loved to see Dennis Rodman.
Oh, I know, right?
Man.
He would have been posting some, like,
Dennis
1 a.m. pics.
Yeah, I know. That nigga partied. That Negro partied.
Bruh.
He partied.
You know, some of the stories, like, he would go play a game. I think it was Kevin Garnett was telling the story where when he was a rookie, they beat the Bulls or something like that. Mm-hmm. So they were feeling all hot shit because they beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
And he said afterwards he went like to the gym or something like that. Dennis Rodman came in and he was wearing like combat boots and he was running on the treadmill. And he said he was working out after the game and he was like, "Yeah, man, this is how you got to get that, you know, blood pumping or whatever. Keep that momentum going for the back-to-backs or something like that." Yeah. But he was also that type that could do some shit like that. Go out that night, drink till 6 a.m., whatever, get no sleep, play the next night, and get a double-double, like 10 rebounds, 10, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy, like, man? Speaking of that, like Mike, you know, just like touch on what you're saying right now, or piggyback, excuse me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to the Aaron Hernandez thing for a second. I didn't understand how you can murder somebody and then just come play the next day like ain't shit happened. Like, that shit is wild to me, bro.
So when that shit broke, I remember, you know, I'm a big Brady guy, so I'm always watching and following.
He murdered a couple people.
Multiple. So the first one came out, the Odin Lloyd thing, and I remember reading about it. I was like,
yeah, that was his brother-in-law.
I remember sitting there thinking like, damn, I wonder if this means the Pats are gonna lose him because that would suck. Like, that was my first thought, and then I was like, oh, this shit's real. Like, okay, he's going to jail.
Right.
Oh shit. And just hearing about the stories. But, you know, the wild thing was I remember I followed all the news that came out on that. And so the day they said that he was accused of the murder, the day that they felt that he did the murder, if you go back and look, like the next day he tweeted, like, you know, what a beautiful morning it is right now. Like, man. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Like, after he, like, they would go back and find out, like, this is probably the day this happened. And then all of a sudden he would just, oh, what a beautiful day. Like, where is that coming from? Like, that shit is nuts. That shit is nuts.
So, once again, when you watch the actual Netflix special, you will see, like, inside his mind on how his thought process was. Like, Mike, you're right. That shit was extremely nuts. But some people they're so good at hiding shit that you will never know what a person's actually doing. And he fucking had a double life, for real.
But it's almost like, he was never... Like, really, he never really came out or was...
He couldn't be himself.
Like, quote-unquote gay, but at what point...
He was a bisexual man. I'll say that. You know, I don't want to say too much. You know, I want you guys to watch it, but it's a lot of stuff in his life that happened at a very young age to, like, made him the way that he is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not his fault what happened. And, like I said, it's a really fucked up story. So, like, yeah, guys, when you get a chance, just check out the documentary on Netflix. It's pretty crazy. And then, like, to see, like... his daughter, you know, like it was very sad, man. You know, when the whole court stuff was happening, his daughter was in there, and I can just tell that he knew that was going to be like his last moment seeing her. This like this, the way he was looking, and it was very sad. Like it really was, you know. And that moment, I felt that moment like, damn, you know, I felt bad for her because she had to grow up without a dad now, you know.
Wasn't there something like there's a conspiracy that he killed himself to try to guarantee the money.
The money
he
for
has
his
For
wife's
sure.
daughter.
Yeah, because I think it was some old law in Bristol to where if you actually if you kill yourself or get murdered or whatever the fact may be, the case gets dismissed. You get acquitted of everything. So, yes, Mike, you're right. There was like a real thing. And so part of the reason why he did what he did is so his family be taken care of for the rest of their life by the Patriots. But you know, Patriots are going to fight that shit, of course.
Right.
You know, but he went in with the right motives to doing, you know, what he did. So,
You know, so I remember hearing about that all the time. That was like a much better time of media because I felt like when that was all coming out, there was news and facts and things like that. I can't stand like modern NFL media.
yeah. How do you feel about it, Mikey?
I mean, it's all
ESPN is all it's all tabloid. It's all sensationalism. It's all BuzzFeed type shit. It's not news anymore. I used to like watching it when it was just highlights. And I mean, you have some commentary shows like
Here and there.
PTI or Around the Horn, but like I could not stand I can't stand now like the Skip Bayless shows. Like I know he's not on there anymore, but those type of
Talking
shows
heads.
where they're just like, let's say the most outlandish take. The other thing I can't fucking stand.
I mean, it's all take heavy. Just takes.
Take heavy, and I feel like certain people like Kellerman are like, who's your boy Will Kane?
Yeah.
Coming up with takes just for the sake of making like a take.
Yeah.
But what I can't stand is like even Twitter. I love Twitter. It's my favorite social media just for following like the inside scoop on sports. But man, everybody's always in such a rush to be like the first person to suck the new guy's dick. Like it is ridiculous how many people, oh my God, Mahomes. And I'm like,
Or Luka.
yeah, okay, exactly.
Man, I can't stand
yes.
fucking Luka because of that fucking reason. He's nice, don't get me wrong, but they're like, he's like fucking Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, he's the greatest fucking thing ever. Relax, you know what I'm saying? This nigga's second year in the fucking league, like, calm down. You know, like, quit hyping this nigga up so much.
Well, it's kind of annoying because some of it you could see, like, maybe that is media driven. Maybe that is, hey, this guy is, he's not profitable. He's somebody that we can make money off of. He's somebody that, hey, he's likable, he's attractive.
Do y'all think color
whatever.
plays a part in it too?
It might.
Like, do you think,
Mahomes,
yeah, if he was a black,
Curry,
if he was a black man, do you
look
think,
at that.
if he was like a black dark skinned male, you think he'll be getting as much hype? Lamar Jackson, actually, he's getting hype.
There might be something to that though, because I mean, I look at like Mahomes, right? He's very good, yes. Like, don't get me wrong, cannon arm. I mean, 50 touchdowns in really like his rookie year. It's his second year, but the first year he really actually played.
Right.
50 touchdowns. Dude is nice, but I mean, dude, if I got paid for every time I saw somebody on there just on his sack
Hard
on Twitter,
body.
I'd be the richest. Bill Gates.
What do you
would
call
be
it?
broke.
Goosenecking?
Gooseneck. For all the people that are goosenecking Pat Mahomes, if I got a nickel for that shit, I'd
be
be
a rich
richer
man.
than fucking Jeff Bezos. It's like they're like, I heard this story back from camp, and give me credit for thinking he's good. It's like, dude, everybody knows he's fucking good. Get the fuck out of here. But it's like you said though, like with Doncic, but Curry was like that too. I mean,
the first.
I can't stand fucking Steph Curry's
here's the thing
ass.
about,
Man. He's a good player though. But
here's the thing about Steph and Mahomes, I just cannot stand. Like, you watch somebody like LeBron, he'll dunk. LeBron's corny as hell. I love LeBron.
LeBron is great. LeBron is great.
He's great. He's top 2 to me. Like, I think he's just behind Jordan now. Like, he's that dude to me. And look, like right now, it's like like the big kid bullying the little kids playing basketball. LeBron is great.
For 17,
he's a little bit corny.
17, bro.
He's a little corny. Like, his like intimidation things are kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But like, I love LeBron though. Like, I feel like it's hard to hate LeBron.
Oh man, come on.
But
fella.
LeBron can hit a shot and he'll do the thing that anybody will do, kind of look over to the side, like trying to be like intimidated, but he's
Macho.
all friendly and shit. But here's the thing: Curry will do a fucking backflip, jump on top of the stage, put his hands up, bow, blow kisses, run around
Steph
with his
Curry
hands out like
in
an
his
idiot,
mannerisms.
like.
The mouthpiece.
dude.
Remember when he threw that shit when he got frustrated?
Well, and it's like Pat Mahomes. Every fucking first down, you got to flex. Every first down, bro, I could body Pat Mahomes. He's probably 200 pounds. Come on, man.
It becomes too
You're
much.
flexing.
But
It's just,
you know what, bro?
So irritating.
The reason,
so irritating.
and I agree. The reason why they do that is because, like you said, the media is hyping them up so much so their heads get even bigger. It's like, you know what? I am great. I am this person. I am going to do what I want to do, you know?
Now, and I mean, when they interview the guy, I will say I like that he's pretty humble when they interview him. Like Pat Mahomes, he's kind of quiet and chill. Mm-hmm. And he's not much of a shit talker, but it's just like, oh, dude, like.
How do you feel about that, Mikey?
Maybe part of it I'm a hater, though.
I think that.
You got the mic on?
Yeah. People like Steph Curry, you know, Mahomes, people like that, they're privileged in their sport, especially like people like Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Like all like his little antics and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like if that was like somebody else with like a Baker Mayfield like attitude.
Yeah.
Like if Lamar Jackson acted like Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, they'll chastise him. Yeah, he'll get crucified.
Yeah, they'd be like,
You know what I mean? They would have been
Yeah,
like,
that
get
would
his
work.
ass out of here.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the
Get
lead
that
anymore.
N-word out of here. I'm playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they definitely it wouldn't have been as lenient.
He's a little too colorful, wink, wink. Like, you know, jabbing each other in their
He's gotta
executive
go.
meetings.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's gotta go.
We tried to give him a chance.
Yeah, it's
Hey, you guys remember Willie Beeman. Come on.
He's stupid.
That's pretty much who he would be. If you think about it.
I like that he'll wear those like those redneck sunglasses.
yeah, that shit
You
was
like
pretty
that?
dope, bro. That shit was.
I had a
extremely
feeling he was
dope.
going to be shook at some point, though. I mean, I can't lie.
Yeah, you can't go perfect. You know, so like I wasn't
Yeah.
like mad. Like they had a great season, bro. You can't get mad. You can't take away from what they did. But at the end of the day, people game plan for them, and then they had a long time off, so it was rust too.
And here's the other thing, too.
But everything, come on, you know.
Now, Mahomes is like everybody's flavor of the street, you know, flavor of the time, whatever it's called. As he should. Dude's nice. They're in the AFC title game. They'll probably go to the Super Bowl.
DeShaun Watson's nice too. You don't hear people talking
Hey,
about his ass. They
I'll
like
come
they
back to
should.
that. I'll come back to that. But the thing with, like, okay, they're going to AFC title game, but it's like it almost feels like Lamar Jackson's failure. People are like crediting Mahomes. It's weird. It feels like Lamar Jackson failed, and people are elevating Mahomes as a result.
Yeah.
It's like well, Mahomes. So Mahomes.
Yes,
is,
they are actually.
No,
I
Lamar
thought
was
so.
Lamar was the year before. He was with Jimmy. No,
But Lamar didn't play though,
well, Mahomes sat out one year. Remember?
and Lamar didn't play either.
yeah,
I
he
thought.
did. Well, he came back week.
So last year, Lamar.
Mahomes came
So
with 16.
Mahomes was drafted a year before.
Yeah,
Lamar. Okay,
That's what it
that's
was.
what it was.
But that's So they're basically there's a lot of parallel.
But he,
you know,
he sat 1 year, so they started.
It equals
at the
out,
same time.
right.
pretty
So,
much,
okay.
yeah. And so there's a lot of parallels though for the people seeing like, okay, his second year MVP caliber season. They're the flavor of the year. Everybody loves.
You know what I'm about
that
to say
team.
though, man? Burrow about to come in and fuck up the game though.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah, he about to fuck
I
up
wouldn't
the
mind
game.
it. Like he's nice.
He's real nice, bro. I saw him play for the first time, so I never watched him actually. I just saw highlights. So I actually during the championship
He's
game,
very poised.
I watched him, and that nigga is he's ahead of his time. So he's gonna be nice. A good pickup by the Bengals if they don't fuck it up.
But what you expect after playing five years in college? You know,
right?
you better be. Shit.
Oh,
If
yeah,
not,
you got to develop something.
something wrong then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But nah, Joe Burrow, he's nice though.
Yeah.
It's random, and like I know this doesn't count for anything like literal, but I like when there's like a poetry to somebody's career arc. Like the fact that he's from Ohio,
Oh, circling back.
he goes to LSU, they win the national championship in New Orleans. You know what? That's like an hour away, and now he's probably gonna. I mean,
Go back
he's
home.
gonna be the first pick. You know, I'd be shocked if he wasn't in Cincinnati, back in Ohio. I do like that symmetry there. Like I said, I know that there's nothing that you can actually quantify with that, but I feel like symmetry like that usually means to like a positive dynasty, or it goes up in flames. But I just don't see that being that like
No, if he went to the Browns, it would definitely go up in flames. But he's good. He's going to the Bengals.
the Browns, where
He
everybody's
dodged a
paper
bullet.
champions this year.
Yeah, they're gonna, bro. They can get as many coaches and new GMs as they want. They still gonna be a trash ass organization. Like I'm sorry, it just cursed.
A lot of times, I feel like it has to do with the city too.
Yeah,
Because
fan base and
if
everything.
the city's not attractive the way other cities are, you're not gonna
Prosper.
always get the players that you want to get.
But I feel like there's that. There's a lot of different aspects. Like the small town, you have to draft well, and they've drafted okay. Some of their picks they've hit, some they've missed. The problem is they really just don't have a culture there, and the problem is the head coach is never good. They never get a good head coach. I mean, look, they got Stefanski, and he got just outclassed by Robert Saleh last week in the divisional round. Like, they got the Vikings offensive coordinator.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel that's going to help them or not really? I don't think it's going to help at all, personally.
I think anybody is a significant upgrade over Freddie Kitchens.
And you know what, bro? You know I was mad about that? They had Baker Mayfield in their decision. Like, why don't you let him make that decision on who do you want the head coach to be?
Baker Mayfield is overrated, if you ask me.
Oh, for sure. No, I agree. Yeah. He definitely is. I agree.
Well, and
I'm tired of seeing these damn commercials.
Commercials, right?
Him in the damn stands talking to
he's in more commercials than he has touchdowns.
Yeah.
Facts.
You spending more time in the studio than on the football field.
They were
too much a distraction, man.
Quick to anoint him. And, I mean, he had a nice rookie year, and he had really good stats, but all stats are elevated nowadays.
They gave him pieces.
Oh, yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding. He couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? He didn't get OBJ involved.
You got two of the best fucking like wideouts. One, you know what I mean? Like nothing. You know, you're right.
And a good tight end, like the rookie tight or second year dude. Njoku.
Yeah,
now he wants out. But mostly because of Kitchen. So the fact that he's out, maybe he's not.
Do you think it's a such thing as believing in yourself too much?
Yeah, I think there's two sides of that. I think that you have to, if you're gonna take it to that next level, you have to be confident. You have to believe in yourself. Like, you have to just walk the talk. But you got to have self-awareness. So if you think you're the best, but you're not, and you're that far down, sometimes it can blind you from your real deficiencies. And I think that's what they suffer from. Just like you said with the Mayfield commercials, you can't look, he's going to come on in the next commercial, change channel, probably be on that channel,
And also, like, what I think, man, I agree with both of you guys. You got to have a good, like, base around you, too, to, like, kind of put you in your place or, like, to reset you. Like, hey, bro, like, you got to, realign and get serious about this shit, if you really think, who you say you are. You know what I'm saying? You got all these pieces around you now. You're still not performing. You're too focused on, like, the media and, like, being this big star in Hollywood. Fuck that shit. We trying to win rings. You know what I mean? So, like, that you got to have people around to tell you this shit, just to be real with you. You may not like it at the time, but you respect it, like, once you sit back and think about it, because I know I respect people that just give it to me, like, how it is. It's being real, So
I don't fault him for taking advantage of the opportunity to get his money.
Yeah,
we just praise Le'Veon for that. But
yeah, facts.
I mean, and again, a lot of it's just the media. It's media driven. Everybody's been sucking on him for a year now.
Goosenecking. We can say that.
Everybody's been goosenecking Mayfield for a year. So I mean, of course it gets to his head.
I'm the last one.
But you know what I mean? Like all the media, everybody just.
Hey, and shout out to the Lions, man. I feel like that record. No, I'm serious. No, the records they had, it didn't prove like they should have won a lot of those fucking games. Like, no, they had a good squad this year.
Matt Patricia.
The Packers game. That was.
Yes, yeah.
The Cardinals game. Remember they were up like what 23 something.
Yeah. Oh, tied in overtime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they'll be back,
Patricia
man.
problem.
They'll be back. I'm a Cowboys fan. If you guys didn't know that, now you know. I kind of disowned them for a little bit.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, story of my life. But yeah, I kind of disowned them for a little bit because I just you get so frustrated of like a team that's supposed to be great and every fucking year shit just keeps happening. I wonder when they're gonna fuck up type mentality. You should have to have that every time like some shit happens. So now with McCarthy being the coach, I don't think it's gonna help. If I'm being real with you, I mean it might, but I think Dak's the problem.
Do you really?
No, I'm fucking with you.
I was gonna say, I think
he's not nice. He's okay. He's like average to me. He's not like great. I think he's overhyped too. He's just okay. He's like in the middle. He's not like he also does a little
not
fucking
40
spin.
million.
That same spin move, like bro, they know what you about to do. You about to spin to the right and run and try to throw it. Like we already know that. Change up your fucking game. So it just gets frustrating, man. As a Cowboys fan, that's all.
I will say, I think McCarthy is a significant upgrade. I think the big difference there is that now
and the Giants now.
Oh, Garrett.
Hey, That shit's interesting.
The thing is, well, he might be one of those though that's a good coordinator but a bad head coach. Yeah. Maybe. Now McCarthy, I think with him you'll at least have an identity. You look at those Packers offenses, I feel like they were pretty wide receiver heavy, but anytime they had a halfway decent running back, that's when they went the furthest. Dallas has Ezekiel Elliott. He's a top-tier running back. So I'd be curious to see what McCarthy can build with that. There's a lot of receivers. You got a good line, good running back. I think Garrett they just didn't have an identity.
Yeah, I think they'll be a little better, but I still feel like it's not going to change much personally because they're still the Cowboys. I'm a fan, so I can talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been a fan since I was a little kid. I just need to see like with Dak, what frustrates me about him, he doesn't have that leadership quality like in other quarterbacks. Like a Tom Brady, he's not gonna ever give up. A Big Ben, he's hard to tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like they have these qualities in them that's like, okay, like that's my quarterback. Like he's my leader. You know what I'm saying? As far as like when we're on the field, I don't see that from Dak. I have not seen that yet, and I'm waiting for him to turn that corner. So okay, this nigga's really He's locked in. Same thing with Harden. You know what I'm saying? Like Harden's nice too, but he doesn't seem to want it as much. I don't see that in him. People either. Might not like that killer instinct. You know what I mean? Like I want to win.
Well, so here's the thing. Like I feel like T-Mac had that fatal flaw where he didn't have the killer instinct, but I feel like for him, it almost kind of seemed like he was nervous or he was just didn't want to be in the spotlight. Harden, I feel like he's just got so much talent that like, and he's not afraid of shit. Like he'll go out there and like there are nights where he'll hit the game-winning shot, not worried about shit, and he's not nervous, nothing like that. But I just feel like when they lose big, like in the playoffs, something like that, it's because it just seems like he's not there. Like he seems kind of like distracted or just like nonchalant.
Or at strip clubs. A nigga like to fuck a lot, man.
But see, I don't know if that really impacts him much. I feel like
it does impact when you fucking or like you got pussy in your mind or whatever. Yes, that impacts you a lot. He was at the club the next fucking day. You remember when they lost? Or he was right at the fucking Harlem Nights or whatever. Not Harlem Nights. Shout out to Harlem Nights. But he was at some strip club, and I'm like, bro, like
to me, James Harden is not he's not a natural leader. You know what I mean? Like he can he commands the ball. He can score and whatnot. Whoop whoop whoop. But like he doesn't command the team like the way like LeBron would or Chris Paul.
He's not as serious.
Somebody like that.
But I will say this though, he is a number one to me though. Like he's an alpha. I could never see him in a number 2 role. The only way I could see him in a number 2 role is if it was like a Dwayne Wade, like where he wasn't like a number 2 in Miami. Yeah. He was like a 1A to like LeBron, because the first year was Wade's team.
Yeah,
they didn't make it. They failed ultimately. After that, it became kind of LeBron's team, and that's when they succeeded.
Yeah. He took over the 1A slot.
Right.
Or just 1, and Wade became 2.
Wade,
I think later on,
right? Like
I would say year 3, LeBron became 1.
Oh yeah,
Wade was 2.
Oh yeah,
and it was Bosh almost like relegated to a role player,
right?
Pretty much.
Well, that was the thing, is like it didn't feel like he was like a distant 2. Mm-hmm. It felt like he was like a running man, but it just didn't feel like he was the best player on the team. Like I could never see Harden just straight up being a sidekick. I could see him being
a 1B.
Yeah,
to KD,
maybe or something like that.
If OKC kept James but shipped out Russ back then,
I actually feel like that's a good point. I actually feel like
that could have worked.
Durant and Harden might be a perfect marriage because
I
feel like you could have Harden as like your swag. He could be your like emotional leader. He could be the guy that they look at as like he's the general. But Durant could still be your best player.
He's going to just take the game over when he needs to.
Right, because he's kind of like T-Mac in that sense that I don't think he shies away from the spotlight. But I don't know, just like a weird, fake, tough, passive nature to him. I don't know. T-Mac never had that. T-Mac is always easy going and chill, but Durant has that,
Like the killer instinct.
He can kill you. But it's like it seems unnatural. Like he can kill you through straight talent, not because he's an asshole, but he tries to be an asshole.
Yeah,
and that's what just seems disingenuous. Like, come on, man, you're lame, you're corny to me. And that goes right back to like the Perkins thing. the Twitter battle they had the other day. where
Oh,
Perkins
I
was shitting on him.
didn't really get to see all of it, but they were talking about it on ESPN.
So Perkins just like out of nowhere was like, "I'm gonna tell y'all why Westbrook was the best Thunder
right?
player ever."
Yeah.
And I forgot. I think somebody was like, "Not KD" or something like that. And he's like, "KD was nice, but I just feel like Westbrook was better."
Or was that burner account KD?
Well, no, it was I know, right? Let me pull it up because. All right, so it started out. Perkins said,
I like Perkins.
I know, I do too.
Preaching. I
Hey,
think
he's
it's
from
funny,
Port
man.
Arthur, I
Preaching.
think.
Yeah, Texas boy.
So
That's why you always be out here.
he said in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna give my opinion on SportsCenter on why I believe that Russell Westbrook is the best player that ever put on a Thunder jersey. He's Mr. Thunder. And a journalist dude, I'm guessing because he has a suit on, said he put together the best career within that organization, but he's definitely not the best player to have ever put on a jersey for them. Come on, Perk. And he said, "Hey, Kevin left the door open and Russ walked right in." This dude said, "I think Russ walked right into the door called second round of the playoffs 3 straight times." Perkins said, "KD lost in the second round without Russ when I was there, so what that mean?" And then Durant jumps in. "Yeah, our starting center, Kendrick Perkins, averaged a whopping 2 and 3 during that series. You played hard, though, champ, LOL. Perkins says, "Boys, stop. You did the weakest move in NBA history. Up on a team 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals and then go join them the following season. Heart of a champion right there." Durant said, "Weak is starting at center, playing real minutes with no production. Should have worked on your skills as much as I did." Perkins said,
"Petty.
That's fine. You worked that hard and still had to go join the 73-9 team. Truth be told, you don't even feel like a real champ. You have the hard time sleeping at night, huh? Knowing that you took the coward out."
Yeah, always. That's always gonna stain his
legacy,
his
bro.
exactly legacy. Always.
Yeah.
It was a cop out, bro. You
It
the
was.
fucking Warriors out of all teams. I'm gonna join them. You know.
Well, and they beat them is the problem too. Like that adds like that extra context to it. Like,
bro, it was one more fucking win, and they would have made it.
and he
You know
did
what I'm
not
saying?
play well in those last games.
It's one more win, and you let the Warriors come back on you. You needed one more win. Shit's wild to me.
73-9, they go and join them. Like that just
To me, that didn't solidify nothing about Kevin Durant winning those
I feel the same.
championships in Golden State. To me, it was just like
It's different
Okay.
than like LeBron,
You know?
right? Because I feel like the Wade Heat were like a middle, like they were like a 4 seed every year. Like they were good, but they were. I never took the Heat seriously. They won in 06 with Shaq, but like ever since then,
You're like,
they were
all right.
really good. But I never thought they were going to win it again.
The Heat are still good right now. Too surprising.
Yeah, and look, LeBron was the best player on the best team for a couple years. They're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Can't get over the hump. I thought at the time it was kind of weak that he went to Miami. In retrospect now, Miami just had a better team and they had better leadership with Pat Riley than Cleveland did. So I give him a little bit of an out on that. The first year, I rooted for his failure. It happened. Second year, when it kind of became LeBron's team, he started winning. It kind of changed. Like, they were still the bad guys. I still rooted against them, but it didn't feel the same as, like, Durant. Never, leaving the team, just got beat by the big bad guys, joining the big bad guys.
You know what hurt me so bad about that? Durant was one of my favorite players.
Same here.
I followed him when he was with the Supersonics when he first got drafted because
Yep.
the Sonics was my team too when they were around. And so when he did that shit, like that shit hurt, bro. Because I'm like, damn, I thought you was a real nigga. You gonna like Russ is a real nigga. He still stayed in like as long as he could. You know what I mean? But then he finally got smart about shit. But back to Durant, it just. Like Perkins said, that was the weakest move ever, bro. Because you literally could have joined any team. You could have went back to Washington, like whatever. And I'm going to join the Warriors.
Right.
The Warriors, bro. Like, I can't respect you for that. Like, I'm sorry. I can't. Like you said, those rings, that doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. Like, to me, it's a fine balance, right? Yeah, you want to win rings, of course. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point, in the league. But you want to do it the right way. You want to take like the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get respect from like your peers or people. And that shit sucks.
no chick is gonna take Kevin Durant serious.
He could be out.
What you mean by that?
Because
One fight, he's gone.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like everything he did lets you know, his character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if he taking an easy way out, if something go on between y'all two, you know, what you think he gonna do?
You better
You know
do
what I
Little
mean?
meme disappeared.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
he's out, he's gone. You know,
You know, to me, it's kind of heartbreaking too. You know, when we were kids, we all saw a little bit. I mean, I don't remember watching, but you always heard about like the Magic, Penny Hardaway,
Penny, that was a
Shaq,
squad.
how they never won.
Mm-hmm.
Really, our team of that era, I feel like, was the Suns, like the Nash, Marion, Joe Johnson, and then ultimate. You know, like
Yeah.
they were so many years
so
like just
good.
there,
Mike
but
D'Antoni.
never won.
Mike
Yeah.
D'Antoni, that's the Rockets now.
And it's like
Same thing.
it's kind of like you feel like history robbed them of a title, right?
Yeah.
And then the second Durant left, you realized what you always thought was going to be the case, that the Thunder might never get over the hump. First, it's Harden leaving. That kind of screwed them. But, I mean, they stayed competitive. They stayed as, like, right there. And when they had the Warriors on the ropes 3-1, I was thinking
Oh,
the Thunder are finally getting over the hump. They're going to win the finals this year. They finally got it. And then when they lost it, I'm like, all right, well, maybe next year, whatever. But then when Durant leaves, I'm like, okay, like that's it. That team never did it. And as a basketball fan, I mean, look, I'm glad. Westbrook, I know he's got his flaws, but for his heart, he's my favorite player. I know he's not the best player in the league, but I love watching him. I'm glad that we got him on the Rockets, but part of it is like, damn, that really sucks that the Thunder just never got that one
win,
with
right.
all those players they had.
Bro, it's
All that
going to be
talent.
a documentary about them. Mark my words about that team.
It's like winning the lottery and then losing the ticket.
Yep.
30 for 30. For real.
Yeah.
Facts.
Lost ticket. It's what, 2030. Should be good as fuck.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
But
That shit just hurts
another
to
good,
see,
another good
you
point
know?
to think about. Even if they didn't blow the 3-1 lead against Golden State, who's to say they would have beat that LeBron team? That was the team of destiny.
Right.
I mean, that was the Cleveland. This is for you. You know, like, shit.
This is for you.
So was crying. Like LeBron. I mean, LeBron's second greatest of all time. So who's to
The
say
two biggest plays in NBA history from my
Oh, the block.
the LeBron
time.
block
Yeah.
for
the
real?
block is up there and the Ray Allen 3.
Yeah, okay.
Like the Ray Allen 3. Do y'all remember the Ray Allen 3?
Oh, yeah, for
For
sure.
the Heat
2013 finals. Here's
against,
why.
against the Spurs.
Spurs
The
are up
Spurs.
5. That game is
Timmy.
over. Yo, that game is over. They're up 5. All they have to do is make
The
some
series
free
was
throws.
2-1, right? At that time.
3-2.
3-2. Okay.
Spurs are about to win the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
finals.
they're about to win the finals. You're right.
I remember too because I was like, "Fuck
I was
the
on the
Heat,
ship.
good."
Fuck the
Spurs
Heat.
about to win.
Yeah.
Gary Neal. I kept laughing because it was all those Gary Neal games where he just like lit them up. 5-point game, and then I forget the exact sequence, but I know Ginobili missed a free throw. Kawhi missed a free throw. It was all but over, and then you have
they took Tim Duncan out.
Yeah, that was the big move right
They
there.
took Tim Duncan out. Chris Bosh magically slithered and got that rebound.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh is a snake.
He got it like, you know.
Yo, when he got that shit and tossed it back,
He's that one monster from Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
tall,
purple
the
one.
tall one with
Yeah,
the
the
Randall.
with the big ass ears and shit.
Yeah.
Randall, the sneaky
Randall,
one.
Yeah. Looking ass. Yeah.
Randall looking ass.
Real,
Yo,
man.
he got that rebound. We flipped it back to Ray Allen. I was like, I almost just turned it off right then and there because
Like,
like
this
they
is done, yeah.
fucking won. He makes it. I'm like, of course he fucking made
You a
it.
Spurs fan?
Nah.
No, I just was
Oh,
rooting
okay.
against the Heat. You know?
I was too, because like that
Really?
was the I don't like.
I wanted LeBron to get a ring.
After they won that, then I
I
was
just
like,
wanted him to get a ring, and then
I either wanted him to get no rings or a lot of rings.
Yeah, Mike,
So
Mike,
once he started
was
winning,
a
I was like,
LeBron
all right.
from the
Stands.
Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
Yeah, that's-
he was the
I
Cleveland
used, to be,
LeBron.
I used to be a diehard Kobe
the
fan.
rookie, the rookie.
But then
LeBron.
LeBron came, and I was like, okay.
He just like was more of that Space Jam feel, and I know people are critical of like, oh, Space Jam 2, but like LeBron feels like a Space Jam actor, right? Like, didn't he
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
a Space Jam?
Yeah,
like,
Space Jam.
Yeah, he seemed. Yeah, he's a Space Jam character, honestly.
that nigga's
Goes
big,
right
yeah.
in.
But I don't know, I guess the reason why I didn't want
His hair, though.
LeBron to win is because he was on the It team, the popular team. I don't like anybody that goes to like popular teams like that personally, you know. But when he won, I was happy for him. Like, okay, he finally got his, you know. But I felt better when he won in Cleveland. Like I was really happy.
Yeah,
Like, yes.
Yeah.
because he really wanted that one for the city, so finally got it.
that block though.
To me, that was his greatest
Yeah,
achievement.
and that was against
yeah.
a 73 win team. So
the best
That'll
team
go in history,
Yeah.
bro, forever. You know.
How do y'all feel though about like? So he has the shop or whatever. Or
I
whatever.
love that show.
I never
Love it.
really
Not even
watched
the
that
shop.
show.
Was it the shop that he had? He has another
that
one. doesn't he?
uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted. Was it that one that he was like, yeah, when I did that block, we won that game. That's when I became greatest of all time. Like, how do y'all feel about him self-proclaiming?
I agree. You gotta have confidence in yourself. No, I'm serious. Like LeBron is fucking great in all aspects, more than just basketball. I have a lot of respect for this man.
That's true.
Ain't trying to gooseneck him right now. But
No, but that's
facts.
true.
Like he does a lot for like community and shit. And I respect that. Jordan, of course, it wasn't social media around, so you couldn't see what he was doing. I'm sure he did some shit too. But I feel like LeBron has done more for the community than Jordan did, personally. You know,
I think
community.
the reason why
Black
Jordan
community.
is so praised is because he established, the game. You know what I mean? And
He brought it back.
Even a sneaker culture.
he established.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's the blueprint to a lot of what these players are doing nowadays. I think that's why people will never give up, Jordan being the GOAT.
Yeah, I feel like on that
Based off
note,
of that, you know what I
He
mean?
had that killer instinct though that like LeBron still has those moments.
but it only can be one Jordan. at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, for now, I mean, I'm not saying he can't ever be eclipsed, but like,
I hate the comparisons.
yeah.
I feel like there's goats.
it's two different people,
It's gonna be a goat every different generation. I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't compare it to because you can't.
Well, the game
It's different.
changes so
exactly.
much.
It's a different game now.
I mean, if you look back at the NFL in like the 30s or whatever, they weren't passing; they were just running all the time.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah, Earl Campbell days, even back in the 80s and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
leather
just-
helmets and shit.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah. I mean,
OJ
like,
Simpson.
Rugby.
For real.
OJ, yeah,
No swag, no nothing.
If the glove don't fit, baby. No, I'm,
Quick.
I'm joking.
game changes so much,
Kind of
but you look at like,
I think my phone died. The flash went off. Something.
well, they get the first hour on video.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you look at like the NBA, the game is just so much different. LeBron is more of Magic, the player. Like more of that utility knife that like can just do everything, gets everybody involved. Jordan, like Kobe, fit more of that Jordan prototype of like the
Kobe was so
two,
finesse.
The skill set.
Yeah, he was so
the
finesse.
two that's just like that big two that's just gonna kill you and score you to death, right? Like I feel like Kobe is closer to Jordan in that regard, in that he's more of that mold.
Yeah.
But I think that LeBron is just all around the more gifted player. I mean, I might even go as far as saying LeBron is the most talented player ever.
Yeah.
I think I might go as far as saying that.
I mean,
But-
honestly, if you want to compare like LeBron to anybody, like it would have to be like Magic Johnson, like for
Right.
sure.
Like,
Like the
he's
same-
a souped up Magic. So.
Exactly. And that's why like it's hard to compare him to Jordan because they're just different players.
Yes, facts. Yeah.
Different styles of players.
Magic Johnson, he could have been even greater if he would have stayed in the league until shit happened, of course.
Yeah,
But like,
without the HIV.
who would have known
Well-
like what happened if he would have stayed? You know?
And I mean, it's like looking at football. It's like comparing like Tom Brady to like a Michael Vick.
Yeah.
They are the same position, but they have almost nothing else in common. Brady is that pocket passer.
completely different.
If he's on his best day, he's gonna kill you to death with throwing those 7-yard passes. They get 8 yards after the catch, hit you with a 20-yarder here and there. Vic at his best is gonna kill you running the ball.
And
You
then
know,
some
but he
crazy
also
deep play.
Eagles Vic though.
Oh, Eagles Vic at a cannon.
He was nice.
Hey.
That nigga was nice.
Eagles Vic actually was in the pocket passing.
Yeah, and he still the arm too. Right when he came out of prison, he had that prison arm.
Yeah, the prison arm. Hey,
He have a choice.
He had to work it somewhere, you know.
If he would have came out there throwing,
What was that movie, The Replacements?
Yeah.
But I mean, for real, like they're the same position. They have their own certain level of greatness, their own kind of greatness. LeBron is not the same player as Jordan, but I will say, like, I have him like number 2 all time.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do
especially
too.
like
I
when
do
you
too.
think of the longevity, I think that you have to credit him for that. Just like Brady, even if Brady didn't have 6 rings, I feel like you have to credit him for playing for 20 seasons.
Brady, it'd always be a Brady Manning like debate. I feel like Brady he'll always be like better.
Yeah.
If I'm being real with you, you know what I mean? Because like Brady
I
was
always felt
always
that
had
way.
chip on his shoulder. You did. You always
Yeah.
felt that way. Like, yeah, Brady's better than Manning.
I think Manning has more talent. He has more of the tools. But if I had to win one game, and that's how I'll grade it, I'm putting the ball under Brady's hands. You know, it's just
Me too,
he did it
facts.
more often, and I think that you look now like a LeBron on that. If you were to look at that, you know, he had the finals losses, a lot of them. A lot of them.
You can even say Eli and Manning are they're They're the same. They have the same amount of rings, right?
They do.
Yeah, so I was like, bro.
Eli and who?
And his brother, Peyton.
Now, you know what's crazy? So Eli's playoff record, I think, I heard it the other day. I think it's like 8-4 or something like that.
Eli's underrated, man.
If it's 8-4, they won the Super Bowl twice. Both times they played 4 games because they were like a wild card. Like they didn't get a bye week. So that means that he went to the playoffs 6 times. 2 times went undefeated in the playoffs. And the other 4 times lost in the first game. Every time. That was the problem with Eli, is how inconsistent he was. But hey, you mentioned earlier DeShaun, and I was telling somebody this. I was talking to Alan hours ago. My other problem is that Mahomes gets all the love right now for that arm, right? Jackson gets all the love right now for those legs. Watson, to me, is the best of both worlds. He's going to run, like Lamar's faster, but Watson is stronger. I have no worries about his durability. Mahomes has the stronger arm, but Watson will still throw a 60-yard pass in stride, no problem.
With one eye falling.
Yeah, to me, he's more of the best of both worlds. He's a warrior.
To me, he's Vic post dogfight, like pretty much Philly, like Philly Michael Vick.
Philly Vic.
I can
see that.
Philly Vic with just younger, you know. Like after Vic got the maturity he had obtained, like, you know, that was that kind of.
I respected him, like when I saw him play in Clemson when he played against Lamar, actually, or not Lamar. It was in the championship game in like
Bama.
Against Bama.
Bama, yeah. Like his will to win, like that nigga, he wants to win. You can tell, you can see like with his actions, and that carried over to the NFL. So that's why I feel like he should be actually taught.
The Hunter
Well, like
Renfrow throw.
Dabo Swinney said, he's Jordan. Like he's the Jordan on the field.
No,
I think DeShaun is what Cowboy fans want Dak Prescott to be.
You're right. No, as a Cowboy fan, no, definitely you.
That's what people think Dak Prescott is, but he's not.
He's not. No,
you know what I mean?
He's not at all.
I
would take DeShaun any day over fucking Dak. Yes, for sure.
I just feel like if you saw them like 15 years from now at a barbecue, Dak's gonna have a little bit of a tummy, a tight polo tucked in,
balding,
dad sandals, right?
DeShaun's
gonna be looking. DeShaun's still gonna have like some like plaid like shorts or something, like looking swaggy. And for some reason, I feel like that mental
and those
image.
grilling.
Yeah, I feel like that's all you need to know about like
Nike
their current
slides.
level right now.
Slides, yeah.
It's just like
Having a cook-off and shit.
Yeah, I feel like Dak just a little cornier.
No, I agree.
That's why. That's probably where some of that comes from.
Dak is like a cooler Russell Wilson, in my opinion.
Russell Wilson.
I like Russell though.
Russ is nice.
I like his game.
He is nice, and it's takes a lot for me to be mature to say that, hating on him and shit, but. He's good, because he's also the best of both worlds, where he can run the ball.
He runs better.
He runs when he needs to.
He runs better now. And he protects his body very well too.
He's stout, like he's just like round. But what I like too is his
fat
deep
when he retired though.
Thick, right?
Because he's short, yeah. So.
That nigga thick.
I feel like he just gets a nice rainbow under those passes.
You said what?
Like he gets like his passes just like a nice, like a nice arch underneath him.
He knows how to hook it over the. Like right over the linebackers, but just before the safety.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I will say, in my opinion, one of his flaws is, I feel like, in certain situations, he doesn't want to undermine Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just certain situations. I feel like that puts you over the top. Like when you feel something, do it. Take it, make it happen. Like trust your intuition, and I feel like. It was a couple of times where he didn't do that. So
especially Super Bowl, like it was more of
Super Bowl, like
he trusted coaching.
Decision making. You know what I mean? Like
now, I will say this though: they had to pass the ball at one point. If you're talking about the Seahawks and Pats, because they had two timeouts and they had three tries at it.
I still feel like you should give it to Marshawn regardless, bro.
Well, I think they were probably gonna pass it and then run it. Like. You have to pass it once. They're probably thinking, let's pass it one time. That gets
keep the defense honest.
Huh?
That's what it was, to keep the defense on their feet.
I think so, because, you have two timeouts. There were like 26 seconds left. You're probably going to have to throw the ball once.
But come on now. If you know bullshit, you know that was some bullshit. You have the game on the line.
They were expecting a timeout, though. They were expecting the Patriots to call a timeout. When they saw that they didn't, they rushed out there, and that's why that happened.
So do you think politics played a part in that, too?
Politics?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
No, I'm saying, because you know what, in the NFL, right, they say, like, it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, people bet you have different, like, powers that be. You know, so do you feel like...
That is
of course it was.
That is a rumor. That
Did you see what Marshawn Lynch was doing that whole season?
Yeah.
Yes,
ignoring the press, being himself. You know what I mean?
Y'all know why I'm here.
If he would have scored that touchdown,
he's the MVP.
He's the MVP.
Game.
You know what I mean?
No, I've heard that theory before, and I like that.
And I feel like some people.
So they couldn't have this Oakland
Thug ass,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cali.
It was somebody up above, like
they wanted Russell Wilson.
Don't let the nigga score.
Right, pass the ball. Oh yeah,
if they would have let him score, Pete Carroll, his family would have been murdered or something.
They were sending him pictures of their faces.
You know this wasn't supposed to happen.
Zip ties around his hands.
Like,
he's sweating.
This is what we need you to do, Pete. If you don't do this, it's over.
Chenny's fingers. We're sending her pinky right now.
The whole team was expecting him to run it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole
the
team.
Patriots were in run defense.
When you seen Richard Sherman's face said it all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, what?
His face was priceless.
Patriots were in run defense. They were hoping that they would.
Yeah.
That they would. No, they were in Yeah, they were hoping that they would. They were thinking they were going to run the ball, so they weren't even expecting to pass. And then Butler, though. But, if you watch the whole stupid do your job, whatever documentary.
I mean, shout out to Butler, too. See, he did his job.
They were anticipating that. Because he was getting burnt on that in practice. Like, they showed the tape. He kept getting beat by that. They were doing that exact play in practice, and he kept getting beat. And you see him right before that play, Brandon Browner kind of gives him like a little pat, like, hey, go inside. We've seen him do this shit before, like, just in case. And sure enough, he hikes the ball. He sees him cock his arm back, and he darts in.
Bam.
I mean,
yep.
But I was actually listening to a podcast the other day talking about this exact situation. They're saying sometimes, just like in the Texans game where they decided to go for it and run that fake punt and they got stopped, just like this where they passed the ball instead of running the ball. Data and analytics and all that shit make they definitely matter. But sometimes somebody just makes a play. Butler just fucking made a play.
Yep.
That Chiefs dude that jumped off the line and tackled Justin Reed, he made a play. Because he had nothing but field in front of him. But he saw him running back and forth. He read the play, and he made a play. So it just sucks being on the losing side of that, though.
No, definitely. Because I wanted the fucking Seahawks to win that game. I really did. Because, bro, shit could have been so much different. Can you imagine if they would have won?
Two Super
they could have
Bowls.
started a little dynasty.
Yep, Brady only has 3.
Mm-hmm. So much shit would have happened in that game if they would have won. The fucking Legion of Boom,
sliding doors.
That
was it right there. Look, they showed a clip for in this commercial right here.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was the Brady footage right there.
Yeah, so I always go in history, man. Seahawks Patriots game. We always sketched in history.
So I do want to point out how, talking about the shitty NFL media, how everybody was all on Mahomes' sack. And the other point I want to point out is how everybody seriously buried the run game and how, it doesn't matter if you have a running back. But now you look at the teams that are left. The 49ers run the ball like crazy.
Yeah.
Titans.
Run heavy.
Derrick Henry.
Run heavy.
The Ravens didn't make it beyond the last round, but they were right there, and they ran the ball all the time. It's just ebbs and flows. But I like that old school running the ball. I love
so
that
I was gonna ask
shit.
you, are you kind of rooting for the Titans?
I'm definitely rooting for the Titans.
I'm rooting for the Titans, too.
And at this point, I mean, look, I like the Niners. You know that from my childhood. I like Brady because I'm a Niners fan. Like, they always got their ass beat by the Rams when I started watching them, and Brady punched the Rams in the mouth twice now, you know?
Yep.
So I'll be sad, obviously, if the Niners lose. But I'm maybe I'm a hater. I don't want to see the Chiefs win. Anybody else winning it, I'd be like kind of okay with it.
I want to see either the Titans or the Chiefs win.
Or Chiefs?
I don't want to see Green Bay win.
Yeah.
Speaking of Green
I want
Bay,
to see Packers.
Well, and part of it,
do you feel like
San Fran or
do you feel like if the Packers lose, that's it for Aaron Rodgers? Think they're gonna try to move on?
I don't think so. I think he's still got a lot of time left. And I mean, it's the first year with the new coach, LaFleur, so then maybe they think, okay, well, let's see if year 2 is better or something like that. Because they were pretty decent together.
Rodgers,
He can still throw darts, but
he's
a little bit
old,
down.
man. He's an old man now.
Yeah.
I mean, people said something about Tom, so I think
Tom is Tom, though.
Yeah, but Aaron still has, because he was, plus you got to factor in he was injured all last year, so they're kind of like, oh, that was one year less of hits and possible concussion. So yeah, guaranteed.
And usually it's like
He'll come
the year back, when you're 100%, you're not fully
really healthy. Yeah, you're still recovering somewhat. So
Talking talent-wise, though, Aaron Rodgers might be the most talented quarterback that's ever played.
That's what a lot of people say. I mean, as far as arm talent,
I don't see it personally.
Who's your most talented quarterback of all time? Not necessarily best quarterback, most talented.
Most talented of all time, personally, probably Warren Moon.
Warren Moon?
Yes.
It's a Hall of Famer. It's not a bad pick.
I think he was very underrated, man. Like, he did a lot for the Oilers. Shout out to the Oilers, man. You know what I'm saying? Titans or whatever. Like, I miss that fucking team. Like, if the Oilers were still being fucking Houston, oh my gosh.
Just so much, just cooler than Houston Texans.
Remember when, but he punched that nigga in the mouth on national TV? But he, forgot what team they were playing. Basically, they lost some shit, and he punched some dude in his fucking mouth. Like, I'll show you the footage. But that shit was fucking hilarious. Like, that team was tough. That's the point I'm making. Like, they were tough as shit, all the way from GM to everybody, you know?
Speaking of funny, crazy violence or whatever, funny clips, there was, y'all know Deacon Jones?
Yeah.
Deacon
So, classic Rams.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Deacon Jones.
Pass rusher, just
it's
all-time pass rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had some clip on one of those NFL Network shows, Countdown to some sorts. And he was talking about his famous head slap, because now it's banned, but back in the day you used to be able to just slap the shit out of somebody's head. So he used to always say the head slap is a great move, and he's like, the reason why is because when you hit a man or a woman with a head slap, they hesitate. And he just threw it in there like no big deal. And it was like, wait, what? This was Deacon Jones. This was probably 05 or something like that. So I mean, this is you couldn't have that interview in 2020. Yeah. He played back in the 70s, I think.
That'd have been a wrap.
But the way he said it is, when you hit a man or a woman with a slap, ... And it's like, wait, pause. Let's go back to that. But, I mean, the NFL, though, I think is in a good spot. NBA, a lot of parity in the NBA. Yeah. I think that's in a good spot.
Yeah, they're already dubbed of the year, the duos.
Wait, so...
The NBA, to me, is turning into a...
NBA Jam?
Something, almost like a reality show, seems like. It's always some drama, people
I mean, the product trade GMs are getting more creative in the way they acquire players. It's not teams are starting to realize you don't necessarily have to draft well. As long as you're an attractive city, you can throw Daryl Morey approach, throw out hella pick. I mean, they were willing to offer 5 picks last year for Jimmy Butler. They were like, hey, we'll give y'all 5 first-round picks for Jimmy. Now they're like, hey, screw it. How many of these first-round picks really translate into great players? It's only 1 or 2 in each draft. So it's why, instead of taking that risk at the number 25 pick, hoping you get a Chandler Parsons and he stays healthy, why not scratch that, screw, going with a decent, 20 round, pick number 20 guy and just throwing him away for an actual proven player.
Mm-hmm. And, an established player, yeah. That makes sense. You always want to have, somebody that has experience. Like you said, a draft pick is not always going to
pan out,
result to something good, So
that's why I didn't really understand. To defend the Cowboys a little bit, I didn't understand why so many people were critical of them for making that the Raiders receiver.
Oh, you're talking about Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Yep.
They were so critical. Oh, they gave up a first rounder, but I'm like, hey, if your first rounder, best case scenario, is used on a receiver. Hey, best case scenario, it's Amari Cooper.
Well,
That's his best bet,
Nice. He's nice.
So that one worked out. I didn't understand why people were so quick to judge them.
I guess because they didn't feel like Amari was that good,
right?
You know what I mean? He was on the fucking Raiders.
Yeah, and I think he was coming off of an injury too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think GMs and people are starting to realize that like you said, Gary, draft picks, it really don't even matter no more.
Right.
You can get drafted in the first, second round, but that don't mean nothing, you know. Brady was drafted in like the 6th round or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number 199.
Yep.
So
It's all about you.
Antonio Brown was drafted like. You know,
I mean, Alvin Kamara. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
shit, he was a 4th round pick. So
you know, it doesn't matter, you know. So those draft picks, like you said,
DJ
You got to be a
Metcalf.
good evaluator of
Yeah.
talent. DK Metcalf is
I'm
good.
sorry, DJ. Yeah, DK Metcalf. Like I feel
I
like
like DK
he was a
Metcalf.
fucking steal.
yeah,
Well, he was
Also,
a
somebody
combine
else I'm
hero.
gonna say in the NBA who's a steal. I feel Taco
Taco
Fall.
Falls.
Like, yeah, he's
Oh,
gonna
Taco
be fucking
Fall.
nice. Taco
I
Fall.
haven't really
nice.
watched him, so I don't know.
He's gonna be nice.
I mean, he hadn't even really played yet, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's nice.
He's got like that
Couple games.
minute
Got potential,
bold
yeah.
He's in the
build.
G League now.
He's got that minute
you
bold
can see, yeah,
build.
you told trying to develop
The
him.
fans already love him too.
Mm.
They fucking
Taco,
chant
yeah.
his name all the time.
I think they like him because of his name.
So, yeah, probably. So,
Yeah.
probably the last topic I got in mind that I want to get to. We haven't talked about them yet. The Houston Asterisks.
Asterisks.
How do y'all feel about all the drama around
What
the
up?
Houston Astros? For one, what do you tell somebody if they say that they feel that the
The pennant should be taken.
or that it's illegitimate or it's an asterisk championship?
What happened? I don't really like. I kind of like heard like they were like stealing signs or cheating or something, but I don't really know.
So
Like
they orchestrated like a full on system to like bang trash cans to signal when there were certain pitches coming based on reading the signs. And there were rumors that players had like buzzers on them, and they were like buzz them for like, hey, a
Altuve.
fastball's coming, we're gonna buzz you. So there's the walk-off home run that Altuve hits off of Chapman. Right after he hits it, Chapman's kind of smirking, and to the casual fan, you're like, why the fuck is he laughing? You just blew the game. The series is over. We're out. People are now saying, well, maybe he knew, like, these motherfuckers knew what pitch I was going to throw. They read my sign. It was kind of like that smirk. And then you see when Altuve's rounding the bases, he's like saying something about don't take my shirt off. Don't take my shirt off or whatever he's saying. Like steroids give you strength. You still have to hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you know what the pitch is that's coming, it becomes that much easier
cheating.
to hit. And
But
what's
is it
really
proof?
damning,
Yeah.
there's a lot of proof, and they haven't really denied much of anything. But what's really damning are the home and away splits. So it only happened when they were at home because they had their home camera guy doing the recording, and I mean it's like a night and day difference. With like the star players, it's like when they're at home, their batting average was like 400. When they're on the road, it was like 200.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I'm just throwing like just casual numbers out there, but it was a night and day difference. So that's where it's kind of like, ooh, it's hard to deny all that.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't know that. So are they talking about like penalizing players or something or what?
So they suspended the
manager and
Astros
GM.
manager and GM.
They fired him?
Well, and then the owner fired him as a result. The ripple effect. So the Astros had Alex Cora as like an assistant manager.
Wait, you said the owner fired him?
Owner fired him.
How the owner gonna
GM,
act?
Well, he was, I guess,
He had
unbeknownst.
no idea, but he had. I think he just had to.
I
He knew,
guess.
but once word gets out, you kind of have no choice. Like,
Well, so the guy that was the mastermind was Alex Cora, who was like the assistant manager or something like that. He now is the
He's
Red
now
Sox
the manager.
manager. They fired him. At the time, Carlos Beltran was an Astros player. He was like one of the, I guess, big players that were involved in it. And he just got hired on as the Mets manager. They fired him. Like, nobody wants to come near this scandal. Everybody's staying as distant as they can. And what's funny, me being a Yankees fan, I can always point to like, hey,
Well, how-
Yankees aren't touched on any of this shit
Well,
yet.
how do you feel about guys like Fires, like Mike Fires coming out like just snitching like that?
It's kind of
What did he-
corny.
What did he say?
Well, so I want to say he like pretty much he played for the Astros that year, and then out of the blue he just kind of like it happened, like they're cheaters.
He
It's
kinda
like,
outed
but it's
them.
like, dude, you were part of the team. Like, come on.
There's a code. I feel like you got to kind of
Yeah.
respect. Yeah. Sorry. You got to respect like your colleagues, like your teammates, your boys. And that puts like a lot of bad press on them. So I feel like him outing them like that is him kind of breaking the code.
No,
but
it's like bro code. It's like, how you gonna snitch after you seen it all and you were in the middle of it?
Well, and my thing is like, if it was that outright, like in the public, you're either naive or incredibly arrogant to think that nobody's ever going to pick up on it or that it's never going to come out, you know. And apparently AJ Hinch, Astros manager at the time, was against it and tried to disrupt the equipment or something like that. But the criticism of him is, why did he never just say, hey, we're not doing this? Mm. They would have listened if he said, hey, we are not doing this, but he never actually said that. So I don't know. I mean, the stats, if you look at them, are kind of damning, like I said.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think you illegitimize a championship, you know. But it's funny because my dad is such a conspiracy theorist too, and he's just, something's fishy. And I used to always laugh and say, why is it in the Major League Baseball's interest to make the Astros the best team? Yeah. Like, what is this on? Like, on what basis?
Yeah, when just a few years ago they were the worst team in the league. Yeah.
Well, then it's okay. They actually cheated. That's actually a different story. But he feels so justified in that shit. I'm like, man, because
they still had one of the best farm systems to the point where other teams like the Cardinals had to cheat and figure out what we were doing. I mean, people forget the previous scandal was on the Cards. Because what they did was they pretty much hacked into the Astros.
That's right.
Scouting reports and all of our database to figure out, okay, who are they drafting? Who are, you know, like, what are they doing in their farm system or pretty much like G League to make their players better? So
it's wild.
Everybody cheats.
Well, and then you have the Osuna thing.
Of course, picking up Osuna. Pretty much the Astros have been involved in the past 3 scandals in a way.
Yeah. So Osuna, he had his domestic violence scandal. But this is where the real scandal come in. So the Astros got him. You know, he's got scarlet letter to a certain extent, whatever. But where the real scandal comes in is after the Astros knock off the Yankees, the assistant GM, Topman, I forget his first name,
that's right,
was kind of taunting like women journalists. So they would often report against Osuna and say like, oh, you know, he's a domestic violence, a name attached to domestic violence, like they shouldn't support him. People would frequently tweet out like the domestic violence hotline number anytime he would play, according to Topman at least. So after the Astros win, he's like, thank God we got Osuna. Thank fucking God we got Osuna. And he kept chanting that, like yelling that at that female reporter. And the funny thing is, Osuna gave up a 2-run home run and actually almost lost the game for the Astros. So there was no context to what he was saying. He was literally just taunting the female reporter. So there's a lot of bad buzz around the Astros right now. So it's kind of an interesting time to be a Houstonian.
Like, it's always an interesting time to be a Houstonian. Nobody ever gives Houston love.
It happened the week. It happened the week after. Well, I mean, the same week. I mean, the Texans just blew that lead, so it was just a bad taste all around.
Yeah, and now we're sitting here watching the Rockets getting their lunch
without
eaten by
Anthony
the Lakers.
Davis. This shit is embarrassing, man. Yeah. This is what frustrates me about the Rockets, man. Like, I really don't understand this. You know, like, come on, man.
I mean, but they're playing a good team though, so
I get that. You know what I mean? But like Gerry was saying, we want to play them at their best. You know what I'm saying? Because like we're gonna see them in the playoffs, hopefully, and like everybody's not in the game for the Lakers, so you have an advantage right now. Everybody we have is healthy right now, you know. So that's why I'm frustrated. But you're right. I mean, it's a good team, but it just frustrates me. That's all.
We'll see where they're at later this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of basketball.
So closing in on an hour and a half. I'm on the home stretch. Any other topics, gripes y'all have had on your minds lately?
I mean, I think there's definitely Houston sports heavy, but after a tough week like this,
we kind of needed it.
I think we needed to vent. So,
Jock, any final parting words for you?
Nah. I didn't think this was all going to be about sports.
It kind of just came out to be all sports, right?
Some other topic, but I mean, it's all good. I think it was good stuff that we said. Other than that, man, I just want to say 2020, you know, new decade. Start really doing what you want to do, man, in life. You know what I'm saying? To make you better, make you happy in all regards. Like work, females, relationship, friends, like whatever. Like do what's going to make you happy, you know, at all times. So that's all I got to say.
Hey, check out the other podcast, Play It By Ear, also on the network. Been doing some listen party pods, listening along with some music, giving our commentary on it. Check us out on Twitter at PodcastAtMe. Check us out on Instagram at therep.network. Follow on Spotify, subscribe on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Yada, yada, yada. Listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out next week. Peace.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.